Goodness, Freesia, what are you doing still up?
Nothing, Mama.
Come on, playtime is over. You're supposed to be in bed half an hour ago.
But it's still light out.
Now, you cannot use that excuse here, dear. It's the Feywilds. It's always light out. Come on now, what can I do to get you to bed?
Tell me a story.
What, about the blue dragon? How many times have I told you the story?
Come on, please. I'll get right to sleep. It's so boring after all.
It is not. Otherwise you wouldn't ask me to tell it to you all the time. Alright, settle in, me sunflower. Well, once upon a time, I guess you could say, there was a fearsome blue dragon. The world belonged to a race of ancient dragons, the Titan dragons, bigger and stronger than any other dragons, and raised from a race of monsters. We didn't know how, but at some point, they died. Each dragon's bones settled into the earth, and from their skeletons continents formed. One of the largest of these was the Etherian Empire, ruled over for centuries by a dynasty of elves. It lived on top the blue dragon's bones, never aware of the magical remains that could decide their destiny. Now, life was not peaceful. There was constant turmoil in the Etherian Empire. Back in time, the half-orcs had gone to war with the elves, killing some of their kin. Thus, for the next thousands of years, they were brutally repressed by the elves that remembered.
But why didn't they just run away?
Running doesn't solve everything, Freesia.
But it worked for you.
That's besides the point. Well, the half-orcs couldn't do that. They were chained up and forced to work, forced to build. However, the youngest empress of this dynasty, Empress Azarize, knew this could not continue. Lord Zacharon to the north, a member of these hateful elves, continued to punish what remaining free half-orcs there were in the desert. He hated half-orcs, as well as Azarize's reform. She did not know it yet. None of us did. But Lord Zacharon would betray her. There was one, however, that could sense the danger. Do you remember who that was, my little duck?
Uncle Halion.
Yes, my smart lass, Uncle Alien. Your uncle was the son of a powerful warlord, a family known for their proficiency in strategy. They could make empires like the Etherian Empire fall. But that was not why he came. No, your uncle was running from something and towards something else. The dragon's bones that knit together the world also knit together our party. We just didn't know it yet. All we knew is that Sylvanas, god of nature and the Black Owl, was calling Alien to Jajaway, and there had to be something for us there too.
Us? You mean you and Uncle Torvald?
Yes, darling, Torvald. You remember our little fireball, don't you?
He's got big ugly eyebrows and he's missing an eye. He also almost burned down our hut.
Yes, the very man. But you know he's my favourite, right after your daddy.
Ooh, does Mama have a boyfriend?
Heavens no, he actually tried to stab me the first time we met. But anyways, we all know he belongs to Jaza. Now your uncle was a powerful warlock. Do you know what that is?
He works for a demon lady.
Yes he does. That's why we made him your godfather, you little hellspawn. But this demon lady was calling him to Jajaway as well. But first, we had to make a stop in the desert. See, your uncle's goal was to collect an artifact from each of the 9 elves for its patron. Pretty standard warlock stuff. These 9 artifacts were locked away in deadly dungeons we agreed to navigate with him, because we all share one single brain cell. Deep in the desert, we found the first artifact, fighting a massive iron golem to retrieve it. Our near-death experience produced dual scimitars with powerful properties. But your uncle has always been a bit of a herder and kept them to himself, of course, even after I had melted my rapier in the process for him. Nevertheless, when we left this cave, we were surrounded by dark hooded figures. They tied us up and held daggers to our necks. We were surrounded by assassins.
Yay, the assassins!
No, yay, the assassins. Do you know how terrified I was? You're just saying that because you like Elias.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. It was here we first met him. 6 foot, powerful stance, blonde hair and a Q-school mask. Beside him was the fearsome Miva, one of the bravest and most feisty fighters I have ever met. But there is little room for admiration when she was the one who wanted our head on the chopping block. It was Elias that freed us, because despite Miva being the tiefling, he was more devilish than her. He knew he could use us, so he gave us a task: find out where the assassins were disappearing to. They had been going missing by the dozens in Jajaway, and a lack of crime doesn't usually constitute a problem, but we chose to keep our heads. Finally, we arrived to Jajaway right on time for the annual council seeings. She saw us personally in court as she did with many citizens, and when we told her of Servanus' warning, she did not believe us. So we fought for her approval. We went up against her champion, the first Colosseum battle in 60 years. The champion was a half-orc riding a massive bull, the symbol of one of Sylvanus' enemies. We fought on and on, scraping by with our teeth to survive and win, but ultimately no blade finished the battle, but rather a hand, cliché enough. Halion reached out and helped the half-orc up. It was this compassion that ultimately won the Empress's heart and trust. That or the fact that she likes to put her future suitors through hell. I, however, was focused on another goal.
Love always wins the battle, right, Mama?
No, sometimes the sword works too. Anyways, I said goodbye to your father as we left Jajaway, following a lead we had found in the possible disappearance of assassins. A necromancer, forbidden magic in the Aetherian Empire, had been killed in the military state of Kimitat, and we went there to investigate. Along the way, we also got another artifact, forced Terrible to start paying us life insurance after almost dying against a bone devil, and I met your father at the compound there for a second time. We had a private discussion about the investigation, but came up short, so we headed back to Jajaway the next day, which is when it all happened. We learned upon arrival that an arrest warrant had been set out for Lord Zacron. His plot to betray the Empress and his secret murder of half-orcs, as well as a tie to the dead necromancer, was condemning evidence. He came in chains to be presented to court, but this did little to dampen his spirits. If only chains had been able to keep back the blue dragon. He was placed in the High Priest's Tower, the highest tower in the palace under the watch of the High Priest himself. But this gave Lord Zacron everything he needed to fuse himself to the dragon, including a perfect dragon claw he had excavated. A storm raced on outside. We had no idea that the transformation was taking place. Do you know who saved us?
Daddy?
Yes, your daddy. He was the first one to wake up from the nightmares caused by such dark magic, alerting us all as we quickly raced to the tower. I flew through the storm as a bird, being struck twice by lightning and just barely making it there without being struck from the sky. Heart racing, skin wet, clothes singed, I prepared to sing the death song as I entered, followed by your uncles and Paul. But it was too late. The transformation was practically already complete. With a thunderous crash, the tower exploded, sending us flying through the air, spiraling towards the ground in a flurry of cobblestone, sandstone, cement, books, glass, lightning, and rain, as sharp as daggers. I watched in horror as my companions fell down around me, a giant blue monster, growing exponentially, threatening to consume us before the ground could take us. And that's where we'll leave off.
Mama, no!
Honey, shh, your grandparents are sleeping. Back to sleep, okay? If you're a good girl and you go to sleep now, I'll tell you the rest tomorrow.
I guess I'll go to sleep.
Good. Good night, my fairy princess. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to become a rat. I hope you all enjoyed this new format that I experimented with, and I hope you didn't cringe too much at the accent. Hopefully we can all laugh together about it. And I'm really sorry that this took so long to put out. It sort of turned into a passion project. I know a lot of funny bits were left out, and it seems like the start to every campaign, but hopefully you'll see that it's not in the later story times. Happy rolling, rats!
I feel genuinely bad for putting out this shit show now that I got shouted out by Tori Draw stuff, so, you know, just go give the girl some love.